Over the weekend, I went to get a car, the oil changed, and for some reason, um, 2 days later, I kept getting an engine light, and I noticed that there was a small leak of oil underneath my car. So I ended up taking it to an actual dealership to look at the vehicle instead of the place that originally did the oil change, which was really just a oil change specialty shop or whatever. And the service manager, he said, "I'll take the car back for you and just hook it up to the computer." And he hooked it up to the computer, and he was able to find that there was like um, a air module or something that was off, and they reset the code. And he noticed that there was one other issue that was done incorrectly on the oil change. And make a long story short, it just brought, I was driving down the freeway and just thinking that, back in the day, there was, before there was computers, there was intuition. And just to kind of cut right to it, is that I feel like in this day and age, people don't use their intuitions anymore because we rely so heavily upon our computers and Google and all these other electronic devices and services to make decisions for us. When it used to be, if you went to the shop, a lot of times they would diagnose the problem by looking at um, the history of data on that problem. Or if they had 8 customers come in with the same issue, they kind of pinpointed from a repeated cycle or repeated occurrences, or they would, have to use a little bit more thought in between. They would have to use a little bit more thought into figuring out what was wrong. Um, but a lot of times, they would have to use intuition. And that also worked in the sales field. That's something that has been kind of tricky, but it's something that I've had to rely on to help me, pay my bills and handle my responsibilities, is to try to be tapped into intuition, and just be more intuitive. And I feel like we're in a nation right now where so many people lack intuition. They are not intuitive when it comes to making decisions that will help them in the future, or be part of their purpose of why they've come into people's lives, or handle their responsibilities. They're not using any intuition at all. They're so sideswiped with the computers and the technology that they're not utilizing one of their most important uh, senses, that God has naturally put in us, that is, it appears to be being numbed down.